You gonna hang out? Say hi. Hey. Just let me know if the audio is working, as always. Oh, we always have so much issue with the audios. Oh my goodness. He's looking on if it's working. Hello, Carolyn. She says, I'm tired, but I'm here. Only able for a few minutes. Sean's at work. Holy cow, Sean. Always working. Okay. Yes, play. It's working. Woohoo! All right. Well, we can put this down. I'm going to put the chat down for a little while. And we will begin our conversation. First of all, you'll notice I'm significantly farther away. That is because I bought an extension. Don't forget Bruce is trying to eat. For our microphone. Hey, you have bread. You have bread, buddy. He has been eating a bunch more of his own food, random food. So he's pretty much off of formula now. Here. You can come or go as you please. How's that? That's what he does anyways. Let's get a little closer. We'll move things up. I didn't get the opportunity to play with the video beforehand. We have got a lot to cover tonight. It's a little quiet. Well, Sean, turn your volume up. Maybe if I scroll this way. That's not the pool. Bill says you're by the pool. The pool's over there. This is the fireplace. Stop eating my cable. No. No. Apparently, did you guys know a pet raccoon is kind of a pain in the neck? But he's really cute. He is really cute. Welcome to our flannel family forum, as we like to call it. The temperature out is probably way too hot for a fire, but I don't really care. The sun didn't come out here until like 2 o'clock this afternoon, maybe 3. So the heat didn't really set in, and so I may have gotten a little overzealous and started our first fire of the season. Oh well. I tried to move pretty far away from it because I'm already getting greasy from all the sweat. But I don't care because I like fire and I like being outside. This evening, what also made me think of having a fire was we are having vanilla chai fireside chat tea, which is incredibly good, and it's herbal. Yay, herbal. Which means that there aren't any caffeine particles in it, so I can enjoy this beverage. Oh, the potions all over me. I can enjoy this beverage with you and not be awake all night. Man alive. I don't even know where to start. It's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these. I do have a health update. I guess we might as well start with the health update. We met with the cardiac surgeon just before we went on vacation, and he is of the mindset that we should be able to repair the heart valve without having to replace it. They also apparently approximately 10 years ago started a small... Okay, come here. They don't have to pop the chest anymore. Apparently they can go right in through your side, like between the ribs, and do it that way. No, that's my tea. So I don't have to have a chest pop so far. That's scheduled for near the end of September. The downside is it's still 4 weeks without driving, and then another 4 to 8 weeks after that before I'm back up to snuff. And by snuff I mean like I can lift 20 pounds or something. But he said after 6 to 8 weeks or so, I should be in a position where I'm doing better than I was doing before the surgery, and by 10 to 12 weeks post-op, it should be, I should feel great. So that's good. For those of you that didn't know, I have a bad heart valve. We just found it a few months ago, and we weren't sure what it was going to take to fix it. So after, it's probably the 3rd week of September, I'll be away from the channel for a little while. I'll do my best to keep you guys posted. I have appreciated all the prayers. Now he's climbing He's climbing the camera stand. I tell you what, he's entertaining by himself. Um, so that should be, see, September, October, middle of November, 1st of December. I should be right as rain. And God forbid that we have any complications or anything like that. So that's the biggest news, if you will. Some other news: we went on vacation. We went to upstate New York, and I got to see where um, my mother was born and spent the first decade or 12 years of her life, where my grandfather was born and spent 40 years of his life, where my great grandparents were born and great great grandparents were born, all the way back to one of my ancestors who was in the Revolutionary War. We got to see his gravesite and learned a whole bunch about my family history. Learned about just the farming that they did, the dairies that they owned, the mill, the boatyard. There was all kinds of really like blue collar type folk, and it kind of calls to me. I still remember being with my grandfather in his carport when he would work on things. He was a master carpenter, and just the sawdust and everything else, and the smell of it. And whenever I work with wood, I always think of him and how much better he would probably do it. Bruce, don't eat the cable. Don't eat the cable. Come here, wild man. Stop. No. One of these things isn't going to work. So yeah, we left on a Thursday. We were back by Monday, and my friend took care of the property for us and was just amazing. Organized some things, cleaned some things, got our pool back green, which is still green. I've managed to keep it up, so thank you, my friend. Got back here, got back into the swing of things. We homeschool, so we're starting school up coming this Monday. And we've been setting up for that. So we've kind of been trying to get the house organized. So the next video, I have 2 videos in the queue, and I haven't decided which one's dropping first. One of them, maybe we'll do an instant poll. There's probably a way to do that. Is there a way to... well, hello, Mother. Speaking of the lady whose house. We were in Adams Center, New York, the middle of nowhere. So it was great. Sean also says I'm double-minded. Sean, you would love... Sean says, I've spent no years of my life in New York, and I'm grateful for that. But upstate New York is amazing. It was, it made my rural look busy. It was just small town. To give you an idea of like how country this place was, there were firewood stands like in front of people's houses, just a little, like maybe a quarter of a cord, right? And it said firewood, or it said camp wood. A lot of them said camp wood. And there was just like little mailboxes where people could leave the money. Super like chill, laid back. A couple of the aces up there were still named after I think it was great grandfather. But it was really cool to reconnect. So we were up by Sackett's Harbor, which is where my grandfather's boat place was. And while we were up there, we found that the neighboring harbor, about 10 miles away, was having Christmas in July. I had the words backwards. You'll forget. And so we got told, yeah, there's going to be fireworks at like 9:30. And we thought, no way. So we went back to the hotel, we did some stuff, and we were like, we'll go down there and we'll check it out. So we're following GPS. My mom sort of knows the area still, but like she remembered some of the main roads. We're on this back road, like right next to one of the Great Lakes. And there's houses on the right, and then water, and houses on the left. And we're moseying down this very kind of back road feeling thing. And then out of nowhere, GPS is like, boom, you're here. And there was nothing there that said, hey, you're at the harbor. You could tell there was like an inlet. But there wasn't, restaurants or anything like that. So we just stopped there on the side of the road. And I went over to somebody who was parked behind us, and I was like, because they were kind of just sitting there in their truck, and I was like, "Hi, we're not from here. Do you know when the fireworks start?" And they said, "We think 9:30." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And somebody walked out of there was a restaurant that wasn't open attached to a house, and we said they were walking out and they heard us talking. They're like, "Yeah, the fireworks are on the barge, like literally right behind this house, but you won't be able to see it from where you are because of the trees." And I said, "Well, where should we go?" And they said, "Oh, just walk down right behind the restaurant." Okay. So, well, so where do we park? And they're like, "You're fine right there." Okay. So we walked right down back there, and there were there were chairs like this set up, Adirondack chairs. There was a fire pit. There was no fire going, but there was a fire pit, and we were right on the water, and like looking straight out, probably I don't know, maybe a eighth of a mile, quarter of a mile is this barge. Now, of course, the barge doesn't say fireworks, but so it's getting dark, the sun's setting. There was a little boat parade kind of way off in the distance, and we thought, well, maybe we're at the wrong place, maybe we're at the right place. So we had just been up at Sackett's Harbor, where there is a like a battlefield and a like some old cannons and some cool stuff. We had just been there, and we left there to go to this other harbor to see the fireworks. So at 9:30, while we're standing here like on this perfect like jetty looking out over the water, way back over here 8 miles at Sackett's Harbor where we were, fireworks start going off, and we're like, holy cow, we are nowhere near the right place. It is way back over there, and we drove 8.5 miles like the wrong way, and like super bummed out. But we said, just as Sean says, gotta head out back to the grind. Lord willing, watch the replay. Take care, Sean. Always good to see you, brother. And so we're like, well, maybe wait. Maybe it'll show up. Maybe the fireworks will happen. Maybe And my niece said, well, they have to wait till the other one is over, because if they don't, then the fireman can't be in two places at the same time. And I said, oh yeah, maybe you're right. So like the fireworks over there end, and we're still kind of sitting there. I think it was almost 9:45, and it's dark now, and we've got 7 kids out there. And we're like, all right, well, I guess it's about time. We were just about to leave, and boom, right off that barge, they started going off. And I'm telling you, it was one of the best firework displays I've seen in a very long time. I think the only thing that rivaled it might have been like 20 years ago when I went to Disney before we realized how evil they were, and saw like the New Year's Eve fireworks there. Those were spectacular. But this was such an amazing show. And so that one short that we put up of the fireworks was actually us there at that harbor, enjoying that moment. Before I forget, Chris Stubbs told us about a seed sale with the M.I. Gardener, the Mission Impossible Gardener feller. You can go to MIGardener, I think it's .com, and they're having a 50% off sale on pretty much all of the seeds they have left. There's some stuff that's already sold out, but we went online today. Thank you, Chris, for the information, and bought, I don't know how many packs. She has a whole list of stuff that we've purchased for the next year. And it was free shipping, I think, if you ordered more than 12 packets. And I mean, stuff was down to like $1, $1.80 for different things. So if you haven't already, I'm sure a bunch of you have, but check out his store. We are not affiliated in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't even know I exist, but that doesn't really matter. It's a good place to get seeds, and anytime we can help support a small business and save some money, I'm all for it. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Thank you. There, housekeeping over. In some sad news for our homestead, our boar is not doing well. He's the one that was kind of the star of our treating pigs with ivermectin. Southern Seed Savers has a huge sale too, Carolyn says. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Mike asked if we got any maple syrup. I did not. RN, hello with Brian. Hello, Flannel Farm. Good to see you, RN. No, we didn't get any maple syrup while we were up there, but we did while we were outside of Rochester have some New York pizza, and let me tell you what, it was amazing. Amazing. And our server was outstanding. She was great. My son's sub 10 years old, and we're trying to get the kids to order different things themselves, you know, trying to get them to talk in public, those kind of things. And they're good kids. And so we were trying to have, you know, we try and have them order in restaurants and say please and thank you. And my son is very differential. He likes people to, how to garden, good evening, my friend. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. He's a very thoughtful young fella. And so we're sitting there, and the server asked him something. He kind of said something along the lines of, well, whatever you think. And she said, nuh-uh, you're the boss. You tell me what to do. So what is it, sir? And he turned as pink as a button. It was really funny. But yeah, she understood one of my daughter's desire to not have any types of food touching each other, because she was that way as a child. Even if she wasn't, she said she was, and that made my daughter feel more comfortable. So, but the pizza, man, it was absolutely unbelievable. So go to New York, have pizza, go rural, then leave. Yes, How to Garden does have a channel. So if you haven't checked out How to Garden, go check him out. He also does some late night fishing on there. It's pretty cool. But in sad news, yeah, our boar is not doing well. I don't know if it's parasites or not. He's not putting on weight. He's really lethargic. We've actually, and I'm not filming any of this because it's really sad. He's actually in the backyard right over here with us, and we've been trying to give him like replacement formula. Bill says he has a New York pizza in front of him right now. That my man. And we pulled him back into the backyard. We set him up with his own pen. We've been trying to give him high calorie kind of foods, very fatty foods, and it just doesn't seem to be working. We've given him another round of ivermectin, and actually we increased the dose to like roughly 50% higher than what it should be for his body weight, and that was 3 days ago. He's still with us, but he's real skinny and real lethargic, so I don't know if he's going to make it, but we're pretty bummed out about that, besides the fact that he's our breeding boar, so he's the only one that we have that isn't cut. It's just sad to see an animal kind of waste away, so we're doing everything we can. I've even been like feeding him a whole stick of butter like once a day because of the calorie count test. And I don't think it's going to work. Paul says maybe he needs a probiotic. Maybe. Well, we've tried the ivermectin, and then SwineGuard is a oral that's supposed to help through the digestive tract, and we've done that too, and that hasn't worked. So I don't know. I was really hoping with the massive dose of ivermectin we might knock it out, and then it would be kind of like whether he survived the ivermectin or not. But I don't know. So I've put feelers out for a replacement, not for him. Alright, I could do that probably. Alright, says try calling a vet and ask what it might be. I did call the guy I got him from and sent him a picture, and he said that he thought it was worms and that ivermectin should knock it out. Who knows what it could be? And unfortunately, when you're doing animals for food, you kind of have to cut your losses in some ways. So if I can get a free consult, I'm going to do it, but it's significantly cheaper, as heartless as it sounds, to just get another one. Bomectin, Paul, I believe, is just a brand name of ivermectin, but I haven't used Bomectin. The ivermectin I have is made for pigs as well as cattle. So, oh man, what else we got going on? Our depression era mindset video seems to be doing pretty well. I'm glad that people have found some value in it. We've had a bunch of encouraging comments. A lot of you are already living that way. So I was hoping it would be an encouragement to some and maybe a learning experience for some others. We've added something like 9 or 10 subscribers from it. So if you're one of those new subscribers who watch the Depression Era Mindset video, welcome. And if you're not, well, you're welcome anyways. But I'm really trying to make that a theme in the next few videos. Oh yeah, about the videos we're gonna launch. I've got two, and maybe you guys could tell me what you think would be better next. I have a long form video of Bruce. Um, Chris says we lose more than we gain in livestock gardening. Terrible, and I hope things get better for you and your boar. Other than turkeys, we've done really well. I mean, chickens, you lose, I don't know what it is, 4 or 5% of, baby chicks fairly frequently, and we've had some eaten by predators. All of our turkeys died. That was rubbish. The last 5 pigs we had, all 5 lived. The past 4 pigs we have, this one doesn't look like he's going to. So, I don't know. We'll see. Bill asked how the pumpkins are doing. They're doing terribly. It's not good. I'm about ready to, I'm not going to, but I'm kind of ready just to start over. That's actually part of the reason why we started clearing that property back there, is we are ready to try something different in some of the different ways. We realized we just planted too many things. Now, I would like to get a little bit more in depth about kind of the something has to change bit in our mindset when we showed up. But the 2 videos I have, so you have to tell me what you want first. They're both coming out, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But I have a long form video of Bruce, which means very little editing, long continuous shots of Bruce helping me change the alternator in the tractor and change the oil in my car. He was everywhere on me. So there's that. And then I have another Depression Era Mindset video that I just finished filming today. I haven't edited it. That involves repurposing a kitchen table. So you'll have to let me know, Bruce or table, which one first. I'm hoping to edit one tomorrow and get it out Monday. But anyways, we have decided that we don't really have the manpower or the machinery to kind of do bulk crop gardening like I wanted to, and still like repair the soil the way we wanted to, and do compost the way we want to, and do animals the way we want to, and all those things. So what we're going to do is reduce the crop garden size. Table then, Bruce, is your boat. Table sounds good. Yeah, I really like this depression mindset thing, and I think we're going to explore it further. This is something we try and do, because those people were like unshakable in some of the darkest times, and like economically and financially catastrophic. And even if things are good, having that type of mindset isn't a bad thing. So I think it's a good exercise for us all, and I think it's a useful topic. So, but when we moved out here, which was almost exactly 1 year ago. It's 1 year ago this month. 1 year. I wasn't sure that there was going to be anything in the spring, to be perfectly honest. Yes, integrity and intent with faith. Cormac says, don't you have some fetid swamp water going on over there? We do. We've been calling it fish emulsion, just so my brother doesn't get too uppity. But yes, we do have some fetid swamp water going on. When we moved here, we weren't sure if the supply lines were going to break completely, what I was going to be able to get a hold of, were there going to be pigs next year. So in some ways, last year, besides the fact that I kind of wanted to try my hand at everything all at once, was a bit of a desperation year, because I just didn't know what was going to be around. So I wanted to get everything on the property as quickly as possible, just in case. And here it is a year later, and we're still alive. So that's good. And I've come to the realization, I think, okay, this is my opinion, and I only pay a moderate amount of attention to the geopolitical, socioeconomic, grand scale of things. I don't think, like I said in the video for Depression Era, that we are going to starve to death here in America. I think people are going to get buried in credit card debt. I think people are already buried in student loan debt. I think housing is still going to be ridiculous. It's going to come down in price, but it's not going to be any cheaper for you to purchase unless you have cash. And I don't know about you, But I don't know a whole lot of people that are sitting on $200,000 or $300,000 in cash that could just go buy a house. So housing's going to get more expensive. Some things are going to come down, and they're going to come down a lot. Um, but that's a temporary thing. So the job market, they keep claiming it's hot, but it's not. The jobs that people are getting are trash jobs. I say trash. I mean in terms of income. Any work that people do and do well, I don't care what the job is, there's honor in work. There's honor in hard work. There's honor in work that doesn't pay very well. But in economic terms is what I'm speaking on. When the government says, "Oh, we've added, 400 million jobs and all this and the other thing," these are some people that are getting a second job, and they're getting two jobs because the first one doesn't pay the bills. Okay, so hey, Coastal Redwood Homestead, welcome! You finally caught us live. Woohoo! Um, so bear that in mind that the numbers aren't real. I have a good friend of mine who was recently laid off from an industry that is suffering right now and is unable to find a job in his skill set or training that pays enough. And if the job market was so hot, it would be. But most of these jobs that people are looking for to hire on are those types of entry-level, basic position type jobs. So I think we're in for a pretty nasty snap coming up. Consumers added something like $318 billion in debt in the past month. It went up from 3.08% to like 3.18. Um, it's incredible. So we're going for it. But that being said, I I still think you're going to be able to eat. Now it might cost you a fortune, but you'll be able to eat, and you might have to live in a tent, but there will be food. Um, so I wasn't sure if supply lines were going to collapse completely or not, and I don't think they are. I think demand destruction is going to catch up with the supply chain, and what that means is they're going to price everybody out of the market, and when you do that, the demand plummets because people can't afford it, and then eventually the demand gets so bad that prices actually start to come back down again. Now, how long any of this takes, I mean, the Depression was like 10 years long, and the only reason we really got out of the Depression was because of World War II. So, um, and who knows, they might be gearing up for a war, with another large country that shall be named over a country in Europe that is very corrupt, um, just for that purpose. Hard to say. Hard to say. But my mindset is switching from how do I not starve to death, which is what I was aiming for last year, was how do I get enough food on the property so I don't starve, to now, how do I make the most of the time that I have and get back the biggest return on my investment. So we're moving the gardens closer to the house. We are trying to breed our own pigs. I want to make a lot of that condensed. I really like animal gardening. The cows are doing great. The chickens are doing great. Other than the one pig, the pigs are doing great. And to me, the animals are the least amount of work for the most calorie-dense food. I butcher one pig and I have 120 pounds of calorically dense material locked away in the freezer. So I want to get into some dehydrating. I want to get into some salting. I want to change that perspective a little bit. So we're looking now at eliminating the crop garden area for bulk crops. I don't think we're going to try dried beans again next year. Some of the stuff that didn't do well just didn't do well because of the heat, the weather, the bugs. I mean, we got our butts handed to us in a lot of ways. But we also learned that the kitchen garden area, the squash did amazing, the tomatoes did amazing, the sunflowers did amazing, the sweet potatoes are doing amazing, the beans did amazing, everything in there did great. And that's in part because the lady that lived here before us gardened there all the time. So what we're going to do is actually switch the kitchen garden into more of a crop garden. And we're going to aim to do the three sisters in there, which is corn, beans, and squash. And we're going to very intently keep that area weeded as best we can until the squash get big enough. And then we're going to move a lot of our teas and other things over into the wooded area by the house that I'm still working on clearing. And oh, salmon fishing. Coastal Redwood says can't wait to go salmon fishing and get tuna at the harbor. That sounds amazing. Um, we actually live not far from a stream, and we've been catching bluegills and putting them in the fish emulsion buckets. But I just bought a better fishing rod because my middle flannel princess hooked something massive the other day, and she didn't get it in. The line broke, so I actually bought her a proper fishing pole. So she's very excited. Wendy says, "Good evening, all." Hello, Wendy. It's good to see you. Chris says, nothing I have put in and is ready to harvest yet. I planted a little late in South Carolina. Heat has pushed back my harvest. I won't put the fetid swamp water on anything that I'll eat in the next month. Yeah, our potatoes that we just recently planted, that we tried to do in the hay and everything else, as soon as we left for vacation, a massive, massive storm came through with huge winds. It knocked over sunflowers. It blew down a bunch of our corn, and it totally blew apart all of the hay that we put on top of our potatoes. Currently, I have one potato plant in that whole bed that I made. Oh man, it was so frustrating. But we hope that by moving the garden closer over here, it's also virgin soil back there that has only ever had trees on it. It was a good mix of redwood, I'm sorry, not redwood, hardwood and softwood back there. So there's some pine trees, but not too many. And we hope that it's small enough and intense enough that we can maintain the kitchen area and the seasonal garden over there. So the crop garden is getting moved to the kitchen garden, and then the kitchen garden is getting moved back here to the woods. And I'm hoping that between those two things, and then with the cows, so a lot of stuff that we did last year we don't have to do again. I mean, I don't have to put up fences again for the cows. That's in. I don't have to build more chicken tractors. They're in. I don't have to build the big chicken tractor. That's in. I mean, all kinds of, I don't have to clean the barn again. Well, I kind of do. It's kind of a trash trailer. But there were so many things. I don't have to put a pool in again. That's in. I don't have to clear the spot for the pool. That's done. I, we rehabbed the kitchen a little bit. We just finished that table project that I can't tell you too much about because it's supposed to hook you into watching, even though I know every one of you that's here will watch the table video. We reorganized the pantry so that we actually had some space. Oh, Chris says, Ann said, all my sweet corn when I first planted May 2nd survived. Couldn't replant till June. Man, that's rough. Yeah, man, sometimes that's just the way it goes. It's tough. So, we're getting things situated even better so that I think we'll have a leg up going into next year. Also, I'm trying to get all these things squared away because I'm having heart surgery, for Pete's sake, in a little over a month. And oh hey, CNN says that the president tested negative for COVID, so he can come back to work. Maybe he just needed one more vaccine. So, anyways, there's lots of stuff that I don't have to do. Clarissa says he also planted an Ant Central. You must be the wife of Mr. Stubbs. Oh, there's nothing like getting called out, huh? Man, that's funny. That is funny. So, yeah, I've got to get all these things done. Thank you, Coastal Redwood. I appreciate it. It's just prayers for your surgery. I'm trying to get a lot of things buttoned up before I go under the knife, as it were. My kids aren't big enough to take over yet, those kind of things. Well, welcome, Clarissa. I'm glad you're here to keep Chris honest. It's so wonderful that you both logged in from separate accounts, too, so that I get an extra person watching. That's great. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get things buttoned up, and like when we move the animals around and rotate things, I'm going to rotate them right before I go in. I'm hoping to have things tilled. I'm hoping to have mulch down. I'm hoping to have some like driveways fixed. We're getting all the vehicles tidied up. I've changed the oil in them. Well, there you are. Where'd you go hiding? Bruce came back. The Ford Flex needed some work. I think I told you all last week that we changed the coils and we changed the spark plugs. It had a misfire in it. That took care of it. I just changed the oil in it, and it's currently in getting the muffler repaired and the brakes looked at. So that way, when my wife has to put up with my not being able to do anything and being grouchy in a corner, um, she will have things. She won't have to worry as much about stuff around here. We've had lots of friends offer to come help us out, which we certainly appreciate, and we will be taking up some people. I also believe my mother is flying up at some point right before the surgery so that we can get squared away, and then I think one of my sisters is flying up as well toward the end of the surgery. So Bruce came back. I don't know where he went. Where'd you go, bud? Huh? Do you want some more bread? You want some more bread? Come say hi to the people. Come here. Come on. He is so much fun. Oh, Carolyn Smith says, praying you're healed and praying you get everything done. Send a $10 super chat. I appreciate it, Carolyn. Thank you very much. You just doubled my the amount of money I made for YouTube this month. No, we're getting there. We're getting there. I make no bones about it. We are trying to build this as a small business, but I discovered very quickly into doing this that what actually matters to me more than the money is the community that we're building, and the things that I've learned from you guys and the people I have had comment, and the things I've learned from you guys, and just the encouragement that I get from having you guys watch the videos and make your comments, and share one night a week with me on the live stream has actually meant a whole lot more to me than whatever it is, $20 a month I make doing it. It means a lot. So Peaceful Acres asked if we'd done a fecal slide so we know which RX to give him, or meds. On the pig, I haven't, no. I probably should, if he's still alive. I'm not even sure who to take a fecal slide to be honest. It's our first time with a sick pig, so. But I will remember that. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot so I can look at that later. See if there's somebody I can send it into who will look at it for me for a reasonable price. Oh man, so much to do before surgery, but that's okay. That's okay. Bruce is currently digging in the. I gave him a piece of bread, and he's like, "Well, I'll show you. You want to see Bruce play with bread? I'm not gonna take your food." He gets all like, "I'm a wild animal." He's so cute. There we go. What if I come take it? Huh? What if I come take it? What if I take it? You wanna fight me? You wanna fight me? Gotcha. Gotcha. I know. I'm a wild animal. I'm wild. I'm crazy. It's so much fun. Integrity says he's totally gonna eat you in your sleep. He probably will. One day he won't be nice anymore. He'll be sad. Hey, I'm trying to give you bread. You just want to play? You just want to play? Huh? Oh, thank you, Bill. I'll send a super chat. I appreciate that. Maybe you send it to Bruce. Did you send it to Bruce? Now what? Now what? I gotcha. Now what? I gotcha. Says no, put me down. Well, all right. Enough of watching Bruce. He's just so much fun. He really does follow us like all over the property. I don't know why it won't let you send 10 even. Carolyn did it. Don't bite my toes. That's a no-no. Don't do it. Don't. Get the people. Say hi. In dusk, he gets all fired up. It's probably his hunting time, that's why. But when he walks out into the garden, he'll follow you all the way out there, and then as soon as we get into the garden, the kitchen garden area, he like hides under leaves and pounces on things. I know, you want to keep fighting? You want to keep fighting? I'm supposed to talk to the people. I'm supposed to encourage people and be encouraged by them. Hey, that's enough. No, no, that's enough. No, no, no. Good boy. All right. He quit. Sort of. He's probably just biding his time. No. He's so fun. Um. All right. So I'm still on vacation. I'm just not going anywhere for the next week. I don't go back to work till like next Saturday, I think. So we have a few more things to get done around here. I need to mow underneath all of our hot wires. The grass has just been unbelievable. Um, what else? Everything I need to do just fell out of my head. Oh, I got to finish clearing over there. So we got a bunch of it done, but I need more clearing to get done. I want to make a wider um, opening kind of that way, so that way the sun, our sun rises over there and kind of comes back over here. So it should be good sun over there. I wonder why I wanted to hide. And without being too hot. And but I just want to have it bigger, and then I need to pull all that stuff into the middle. I'm not sure if I'm going to make biochar out of it yet or not. We haven't really decided. But if I do make biochar, I want to soak it in a bunch of our gross fish emulsion nastiness and then spread it around. I also need to get a bunch of mulch back there so it can start breaking down. And then when the season starts to cool off, we're going to cut the grass and then take grass back over there with the mulch as well. So, yeah, Bill says mulch the heck out of anywhere you want to plant and grow next year. That's the plan. Here you go, bud. Here you go. Yeah, I know. That's the plan. Let it break down over the year. So I'm trying to get on it. Whereas this time last year we were just trying to survive. So I think we're gonna be okay, gang. Not just us, but I think all of us are gonna be okay. I talked to a couple people on the channel. One lady who was born and raised in New York, or not born, I'm sorry, she was immigrated over when she was 7, raised in New York, moved over to Vermont a couple of years ago to be near small gardening and things like that, and we talked for quite a while back and forth in comments. And while she was a self-described superficial liberal, she said she wouldn't really describe herself as anything, but she was trying to get local so that she could avoid the central government's nonsense. And on that, she and I agree 100%. The central government is full of nonsense, and being dependent on the government is deadly. So, as best as you can to be independent of at least the government, do that. The whole self-sufficiency thing is kind of a fallacy. It is really basically impossible for any one person to be completely self-sufficient. There's just not enough time in the day. And there's too many different variables and too many different skill sets that you have to really have. I mean, you could probably survive on your own if you really had to, but even that has a finite. I mean, there's just it's just you need community. You need community to do these things, and so that's what we're working on building. And we found some good friends up here very quickly, which is not always the case when you buy land. We are very blessed to have the friends up here that we have, and we've met you guys. So many of you guys who are giving us great encouragement. So. Mike asked if Hank is going strong. Hank is going strong. I replaced the, well, hello, EVW. It's good to see you. Excuse me, I forgot to hit the cough button. The tractor, Hank, what had happened was, so I replaced the alternator so it would quit stalling on me, and I did an oil change, new filters, got them all running, started pushing stuff down. I got that video finished that y'all saw, and then behind the pool, okay, so the pool sits like this, and the cleared area for the pool area is like a long ways this way, and the area we cleared was this way. So the pool is here, so behind the pool I was coming in with the tractor to make it wider back there through the new kitchen garden area. And I had snapped a tree that was about I don't know, 5-6 inches across, and about 3 feet tall, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it with the tractor. My friend up here, my farmer friend, has always warned me, don't use a front end loader to clear property because you'll break it. And I've broken it twice now, clearing land. But it's all I have. I haven't made the $4,000 for a bulldozer yet, so that's still out there. I just haven't made it yet. So I'm gonna need like 8,500 more super chats. No, I'm just kidding. So, not to get too into it, but the way the hydraulic lines work on that particular model tractor is the frame for the buckets is a bolt-on frame. That's an added thing. They didn't come with it. Ford built them, and it was a part that you could add on, but it was not built that way necessarily from the factory. It was an add-on, and it is welded metal, and it's hollow for the most part. And the hydraulic fluid actually sits, that the reservoir is the framing for the bucket, okay? And it has a pump in the very front of the motor behind a brush guard. And there is a flexible rubber pipe that connects the non-pressurized side to the pipe that connects to the reservoir. And then the high pressure line comes out the other way. And it's really close, like the edge of the tractor of the body is here, and the frame that holds the bucket is like, you know, 1.5 inches from it. And so I ran over that tree stump and it pushed it forward, and then when I went to back up, it popped that rubber piece completely off, shredded it, and then actually came up and hit the alternator. Now the reason I knew it hit something was because the alternator fan was actually throwing wood chips off of, this is my brand new alternator, dude, the one I just put on. Was throwing wood chips from it. So I stopped everything immediately, shut the tractor off, and then got down and looked, and thankfully the alternator fan was okay. It had just started to hit it, but the hydraulics were shot. So while I still had hydraulic pressure, I got the chainsaw, I cut the trunk out, I bashed it out from between the tractor and the frame. I moved the tractor over, I braced up the bucket, and then my friend, my local farmer friend, actually had some heavy-duty suction, so code. Those aren't the right words. I was going to say coupling and rubber, and I think it came out code. It's a code. He had the right coupling, and so I was able to cut that, wedge it on, then I had to add like 7 gallons of hydraulic fluid back to it. But none the worse for the wear. We just have a new piece on there. So all is good again. Yeah, the corn harvest was delicious. Bill asked how the corn harvest was. We have so much corn. I think we did something like a couple 100 pounds worth of corn that's in the freezer. Why are you so bitey? Why are you so bitey? Huh? He's so much fun. It just blows my mind that he just hangs out. Like he's not in a cage or anything. He just hangs out with us and has a good time. So yes, Hank is still with us. I am very happy that Hank is with us. Too, because that bucket is so incredibly useful. I don't know what I'd do if it was out of commission. I don't really want to have to buy another tractor. Thank you for still praying for my heart. EVW says, Papist is still praying for your heart. I appreciate it. Oh, I had a thought for my surgery. And I might be giving something away, so you'll have to let me know if you think this is a good idea. Are you guys familiar with the show Alone? I think it was originally a History Channel or A&W or A&E or I don't know who it is. But the basic premise is they drop those people off in the woods, and they have to survive by themselves with 10 items or something crazy. It doesn't really matter. Details aren't that important. But it's always filmed like from that person's point of view, the contestants, because there's no producers or anything. I mean, it's all edited after the fact, but there's nobody else out there with them filming it. It's just them. I thought about, and you'll have to tell me if you like this idea or not, not exactly filming my heart surgery, but like the leading up to it and some of the recovery almost as an Alone spoof. And treating the whole thing kind of like it's an episode of Alone. My wife and I were brainstorming this on our way back in the car. We might have been in the car for too long.
but have everything seem like first person, and basically trying to survive the surgery and trying to survive the recovery. And then maybe my wife would play a different contestant where she's trying to survive my recovery as well because I'm a jerk when I don't feel good. That's not true. I'm not a jerk. I don't sit still very well. And when I don't sit still very well, I get antsy and I become a bad patient. So I've already purposed in my heart that I'm not going to do that to my poor wife. Um, but I'm a bit of a doer. And when I just end up having to sit around for any length of time, it kind of is wearing on me. Integrity says, do it. Bill says, I would love that. Wood Nickel Homestead says, love the show alone, but don't think they were survival specialists. Well, I don't know if the first ones were or not, but in the most recent episode I watched, it said that these were trained survivalists. Don't try this at home. So I don't know how trained they are. A couple other people taught survival for a living. So, um, no. I'm not going to be kids because I don't know if I can handle that. The operation part. How to Garden says, bye, y'all have to go. Have a blessed night. Thanks for being here, my friend. You too. If you haven't seen How to Garden's channel, feel free to go check them out. They got a good thing going. Very knowledgeable fella. Um, I wouldn't try and film the surgery or anything. I would do the just the recovery, like I was trying to survive the recovery, kind of like the alone people are trying to survive being alone. And then have like I'm gonna try and make so like when they have the way their title is, the way they do like the little things that pop up in the bottom for descriptions when somebody's like, wow, I just ate that, I don't know if it's any good for me, and then a little thing appears at the bottom of the screen, they just ate poison stuff, it's really bad for them. Those kind of things, just kind of make a spoof. um, I think it would be a lot of fun. I could film it over like a 4 week period and then release it like as a special kind of thing. um, I'm Bill asked if I get snippy. I don't get snippy. The thing that drives her crazy is I don't listen. Bill says your last video was awesome. Had me rolling. Is that the surviving the recession one? I had some fun with the characters in that one. What's really funny is the Starbucks person, right? So one of the things we have on our Babette, good evening, says that would be interesting. I would watch it. I appreciate that. Um, So, in my YouTube Studio app, not to get too deep into the weeds, but I like to share this stuff with you guys, so I'm going to. There's all kinds of algorithms and video analytics and how many people watched and how many were unique viewers and where it ranks compared to your last 10 videos and what ages are the people watching. There's all kinds of information that I don't need to pay any attention to. But there's one that's really funny that is like how long people watch for. And usually what happens is within the first 3 seconds, like 25% of the people quit watching. Now, what I don't know is if, you know how if you're scrolling through YouTube, even if you don't click on something, it starts to play. I wonder if some of those are people just scrolling and the video starts to play and they keep scrolling. But when I got to the part with the hair all like this, it was like, wow, Becky, I can't believe it. It spiked to 97% audience retention, which is the highest I've ever had past like the 3 second mark. So apparently, apparently people thought it was funny. Um, so yeah, that was good. Um, but yeah, I don't listen to her. I don't get snippy. I just don't listen. I kind of want to do what I want to do, and I don't mean like I'm gonna go play with the fellas. I mean like I get a lot of satisfaction from working. So just sitting there not working just bothers me. The days are so long. So you have to do something all day. I like to be productive as much as possible. But I also understand that unlike when I've had colds in the past or the flu or a sprained ankle or whatever, where if you don't sit in the bed for 4 days, um, you might prolong your illness a little bit, or your recovery might take a little longer. I do understand that we're talking about heart surgery, and that's not really something to play with, and that I do need to actually probably follow the doctor's recommendation. So I'm trying to plan in advance for that. Um, And actually, I dabbled a couple of years ago in wood carving very briefly. A good friend of mine, who actually was on my brother's channel, he made a sugarcane machete for my brother. I bought a couple carving knives from him. He made them himself, um, and they're really great knives. And so I carved wood for a little while, and I really enjoyed it. But what I've discovered is you can carve with a Dremel. They make tips for them, and I think I would be much better at that. I'm pretty good with my hands, and so I have a Dremel. I don't have any of those bits for it. So what I'm gonna do is buy like 30 or 40 different wood carving Dremel bits and sandpaper and stuff, because that doesn't require me to lift more than 20 pounds. And it's something productive. So you might end up with like 3 weeks worth of me trying to carve like a penguin for videos. And I'll probably do some more live streams than what I normally do, because I can still walk around with the camera and talk. I just can't do a whole lot. So maybe I'll narrate my wife in the garden or something. I'll follow Bruce around and try and do David Attenborough. Here we see Bruce the raccoon, not in his natural environment, being fed by these terrible people. Now he will have no skills whatsoever, and he will probably die as soon as they're gone to death. um, so yeah, that's what we're Integrity says, yeah, like you listened so well to your doctor after the cat. I don't know if my doctor watches the live streams, so, but I know my cardiologist watches the other videos. Bill Elrod said, make some devotional videos during that time. Ooh, that's a good idea. Nikkei says, the first time I watched your channel, hey, you were moving your chicken coop and all of a sudden you just started taking off running. And I couldn't figure out why you were running. Funny. I think that might have been the time I did it for Jeremy. Um, he was laughing because Jeremy V is a good friend of mine. And we he was commenting to his wife that every time you saw like the vehicle pull in or like me walk onto the screen, you know, doing something, I had to go set the camera up beforehand. So like if you see me walk out a door, I had to set the camera up, go back inside the door, and then come out the door. There's not somebody else filming me doing. I have to set all these cameras up with a one camera and do all these shots. And he was mentioning in one of the videos like how many times I must have set the camera up to show like the, you know, tractor driving by or the truck driving by. So yeah, I moved something and then told him it was for Jeremy and then ran away so he would see the thing. But yeah, Integrity says, like I listened so well. That's so funny. Oh, Belt Loop, there he is. I texted him earlier. You might have responded. I'm sorry, but I used my phone for the live stream. I just want to make sure you're okay, my man. Haven't heard from you in a while. So, Integrity Intense says, carve Bruce. You read my mind. That's actually what I was thinking of, was trying to carve Bruce. And a couple other small woodland creatures, perhaps. So, Nick, you're here! Nick Kake is the one that made my knife. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. He's also making another knife for us. What kind of knife was that called? The harvesty hooky one-y. It's not a sickle or a scythe or anything. It's like a almost like an upside down question mark, like a hook blade. Bill hook. Yeah, Nick has made a bill hook for us. He's still sharpening them. Can't wait to try that on some stuff. But yeah, Nick, I love those knives. I haven't used them lately, but I actually found them again today and have them set up. So yeah, you'd think it was a joke, right? Integrity at Intent says, Nicholas Kake, you make knives and that's your last name. It actually is his last name. He and I work together, so I know it's truly his last name. For real, for real. Oh man. Yeah, actually, Nick, do you still have your not Instagram, your Etsy page? If you guys are interested in custom knives, um, Nick makes great knives. I really wish he would start a YouTube channel or an Instagram or something, because the stuff he makes is super cool, and the whole process is neat. He's fixed different blades of mine and things like that, and it would have to be one of those channels like, I don't think you want to talk to the camera, Nick, so it'd have to be one of those ones where it's just like a whole bunch of different camera angles and some music maybe, and then all of a sudden, poof, there's a knife. When are you putting in for Forged in Fire. You got to do that, man. You got to put in for Forged in Fire. That would be awesome. Anyways, my friends, we have hit 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And it has been a very, very long day. Nick says no one wants to sound the hammers for hours. Well, you do. That's why your wife lets you do it in the living room, right? So you can hear it. No, I'm just kidding. He's got a forge set up out in the barn, or his garage. That's one of the things I'm gonna have to learn in the next couple of years is how to forge. I have space for it out here, so maybe we'll have to have a thing. Maybe this winter we'll do a forge, learning how to make things out of metal. That would be really cool. Because that's what I need is one more thing to do. Anyways, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful evening. No, Integrity. Integrity says not while you're recovering. No, not while I'm recovering. Cool. Nick says I will gladly come help you with that. That would be really cool. Maybe we'll do that. But I do need to get inside. Evening times or special times with the family. So I will work on getting a video edited tomorrow. I hope to get one out Monday and then one potentially on Tuesday, and by then I'll have filmed something else. We will be back on schedule. Thank you for growing with me as we grow. God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful night. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye. Now I gotta walk like 4 feet to the camera to turn it off. Oh my gosh, it's so far. I will give the family love. Bye. Oh.